Listen up. 85% of motorcycle accidents happen because riders make the same basic mistakes over and over again. Many are caused by bad rider habits. 75% of riders have at least one bad habit that can lead to an accident. And here's the kicker. Most of these mistakes are completely preventable if you just know what to look for. Today, we're breaking down the 10 most dangerous beginner habits that are still ruining rides into 2025. Number 1. Riding without proper gear. Here's the most dangerous habit that separates smart riders from future statistics. Riding without proper protective gear. And I'm not just talking about helmets. Every summer I see riders cruising around in shorts, t-shirts, and flip-flops like they're going to the beach instead of piloting a 400-pound machine down the highway at 60 miles per hour. Here's what happens when you go down without gear: road rash. And road rash isn't just a scrape, it's literally your skin being ground off by asphalt. I've seen riders lose so much skin that they needed skin grafts just to cover the damage. That t-shirt you're wearing, it'll disintegrate in about 2 feet of sliding. Those shorts, gone before you even realized you're down. The excuse I hear most is, it's too hot, or I'm just going around the block. Wrong answer. Accidents don't care about the temperature or how far you're going. Here's what you need every single time: a DOT-approved helmet, a proper motorcycle jacket with armor, gloves that actually protect your hands, pants that won't melt to your legs, and boots that cover your ankles. Good gear lasts for years and can save you through multiple crashes. Bad gear fails when you need it most. Don't gamble with your skin. It's the only set you get. Number 2, improper use of the brakes. Here's a habit that gets more riders in trouble than almost anything else: using the brakes wrong. Most new riders come from cars, where you just step on one pedal and the car stops. But motorcycles have 2 separate brake systems. The biggest mistake? Relying too much on the rear brake. I see riders who barely touch the front brake and try to do all their stopping with the rear. That's backwards and dangerous. Here's the physics. When you brake, weight transfers to the front wheel. That means the front tire has more grip and can handle more braking force. So the front brake does most of the work. When you rely on the rear brake, you don't stop as quickly. You can lock up the rear wheel and slide. Man, you don't develop the skills you need for emergency stops. The right technique is using both brakes together, but doing most of your stopping with the front brake. Start with light pressure on both, then increase front brake pressure as you slow down. Practice this in a safe area until it becomes automatic. Your life might depend on getting this right. Number 3, forgetting to turn off your turn signal. This might seem harmless, but forgetting to turn off your turn signal is more dangerous than you think. Unlike cars, most motorcycles don't have self-canceling turn signals. Here's what happens when you leave your signal on. Drivers think you're turning when you're not. They pull out in front of you because they think you're getting out of their way. They change lanes into your space because they think you're leaving. You're going straight through an intersection, but your right turn signal is still on from 3 blocks ago. The car waiting to turn left sees your signal and thinks you're turning right, so they turn left right into your path. The fix is simple. Every time you complete a turn or lane change, immediately turn off your signal. Make it automatic. Turn, signal off. Change lanes, signal off. Here's a memory trick. After every turn, tap the signal switch to make sure it's off. This builds muscle memory and prevents the dangerous habit of leaving signals on. Number 4, terrible clutch habits. The clutch is one of the most important controls on your motorcycle, but most beginners develop terrible clutch habits that make riding harder and more dangerous. The worst habit? Riding with the clutch pulled in. I see new riders who keep the clutch lever squeezed while they're riding, thinking it gives them more control. It doesn't. It gives you less control. When you ride with the clutch pulled in, you lose engine braking. That means you have to rely entirely on your brakes to slow down, which is less smooth and less safe. Another terrible habit is slipping the clutch constantly instead of learning to use it properly. The clutch is designed to engage and disengage, not to slip continuously. Here's how the clutch should work. You'll pull it in to shift gears or come to a stop, then let it out smoothly to engage. Once it's engaged, leave it alone. The friction zone is where most beginners struggle. Learning to control the friction zone is crucial for smooth starts and low-speed maneuvering, but don't use it as a speed control device. Practice clutch control in a safe area until it becomes second nature. Learn to start smoothly without stalling, and learn to stop without killing the engine. Number 5. Improper lane positioning. Most new riders think lane positioning is simple. Just stay in the middle of the lane and you're good. Wrong. The middle of the lane is actually the worst place to ride most of the time. That's where all the oil, coolant, and road debris collects. It's slippery when wet and gives you the fewest options if something goes wrong. Every lane has 3 positions: left tire track, center, and right tire track. Smart riders constantly adjust their position based on traffic, road conditions, and potential hazards. Ride in the left tire track when there's oncoming traffic or cars in the right lane. Use the right tire track when there are cars in the left lane or when passing parked cars. Your lane position should change constantly. You should be adjusting your position every few seconds based on what's happening around you. Approaching a car that might change lanes, move to the far side of your lane. Riding next to parked cars, stay away from the door zone. Learn to use your lane position as a safety tool. It's like having an invisible shield that keeps you away from hazards and makes you more visible to other drivers. Number 6. Not knowing how to countersteer. Here's a skill that separates real riders from people who just happen to own motorcycles. Countersteering. Most beginners either don't know it exists or don't understand how to use it properly. Countersteering is how motorcycles turn at speed. To turn left, you push the left handlebar forward. This causes the bike to lean left and turn left. It sounds backwards, but it's basic physics. The problem is most beginners try to turn by leaning their body or pulling on the handlebars. This works at parking lot speeds, but it's slow, imprecise, and dangerous at highway speeds. When you don't countersteer properly, you can't make quick corrections or emergency maneuvers. You're stuck making slow, wide turns that might not be enough to avoid hazards. Here's how to practice. Find a safe area and practice pushing on the handlebars to initiate turns. Push left, go left. Push right, go right. The key is understanding that you're pushing on the handlebars, not turning them. Push the left bar to go left. Push the right bar to go right. This isn't advanced racing technique. This is basic motorcycle operation that every rider needs to understand. Number 7. Feet dragging after taking off. Here's a habit that screams beginner: dragging your feet after you start moving. New riders do this because they're scared of falling over, but dragging your feet actually makes you less stable. When your feet are dragging, you can't use your legs to grip the bike properly. You can't shift your weight correctly. And if your foot catches on something, it can throw you off balance. Motorcycles want to stay upright when they're moving. The gyroscopic effect of the wheels keeps the bike stable as long as you're not fighting it. Practice smooth starts where you get your feet up as soon as the bike is moving. Release the clutch smoothly to get moving. Then immediately lift both feet onto the pegs. Don't wait until you're going fast. Get your feet up right away. If you're worried about balance, the solution isn't dragging your feet. The solution is practicing low-speed control until you're confident. Number 8. Riding too close to cars. Following too closely is one of the most dangerous habits beginners develop. Most new riders follow at car distances, not motorcycle distances. But motorcycles need more space. Here's the problem with tailgating. You can't see what's happening ahead of the car you're following. You can't react to hazards until the car in front of you reacts. The 3-second rule that works for cars isn't enough for motorcycles. You need at least 4 seconds, and more in bad weather or heavy traffic. But it's not just about following distance. Riding too close to cars in adjacent lanes is just as dangerous. You're in their blind spots and can't escape if they change lanes suddenly. Smart riders create a bubble of space around their motorcycle. Space in front, space behind, space to the sides. This gives you options if something goes wrong. Don't let aggressive drivers pressure you into following too closely. Your safety is more important than their impatience. Number 9, not looking far enough ahead while riding around corners. Here's a mistake that causes more single-vehicle crashes than almost anything else: not looking through corners properly. Most beginners look at the road right in front of their wheel instead of looking where they want to go. Your bike goes where you look. When you look at the guardrail, you tend to ride toward the guardrail. When you look at the exit of the turn, you naturally steer toward the exit. Most new riders get scared in corners and look down at the road or fixate on hazards they're trying to avoid. This target fixation causes them to ride exactly where they don't want to go. Here's the right technique. Look as far through the corner as you can see. Don't look at the road surface right in front of you. Look where you want the bike to go, and it will naturally go there. Start practicing this on gentle curves at moderate speeds. Force yourself to look through the turn instead of down at the road. This skill alone will make you a dramatically better and safer rider. Master it, and corners become fun instead of scary. Number 10, not covering the clutch and brake in traffic. Here's the final habit: not covering your controls in traffic situations. When things might go wrong quickly, you need to be ready to react instantly. Covering means keeping your fingers lightly on the brake lever and clutch lever without actually pulling them. This cuts your reaction time in half. Most beginners ride with their hands in a relaxed grip. That's fine on open roads, but in traffic, at intersections, or in any situation where you might need to stop quickly, you should be covering your controls. Here's when to cover: approaching intersections, riding in heavy traffic, passing cars, or any time you see a potential hazard developing. Rest your index and middle fingers lightly on the brake lever, and keep your left hand ready to pull the clutch if needed. This habit has saved countless riders because it eliminates the delay between recognizing a threat and responding to it. There you have it, the 10 most dangerous beginner habits that are still causing crashes in 2025. Every one of these mistakes is completely preventable if you know what to look for and you're willing to change. The good news is that all of these habits can be broken with practice and awareness. Start with the habits that apply to you most. Pick 1 or 2 to focus on and work on them until the correct technique becomes automatic. Don't try to fix everything at once. Focus on one habit at a time. Practice the correct technique until it becomes natural, then move on to the next one. Your riding will improve dramatically once you break these habits. You'll be smoother, safer, and more confident. Which of these habits hit home for you? Drop a comment below and let me know which habit you're going to work on first. If this video opened your eyes to mistakes you've been making, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-world riding advice. Remember, good riders aren't born, they're made. And they're made by recognizing bad habits and having the discipline to break them.